I don't do that much talking these days. These days I seem to think a lot about the things that I forgot to do for you. And all the times I had the chance to. I had a lover. It's so hard to risk another these days. These days. Now if I seem to be afraid to live the life that I have made in song, it's just that I've been losing for so long. Well, I'll keep on moving. Things are bound to be improving these days. One of these days. These days I'll sit on cornerstones and count the time in quarter tones to 10. My friend, don't confront me with my failures. I had not forgotten them. stranded on an island in the dark green sea, wondering what my fate will be. And as my thirsted mind and heart take their leave of me, come and what do I see? Can it be to set me free? Now 2 angels have come to save me, soaring through this night. 2 rays of golden sunlight, 2 arms of righteousness. 2 angels have come to save me now. Lost and in the desert, with no end in sight. The wicked winds are fierce against the night. And as we scatter further and we run with fright, on the dim horizon, what a sight, a glowing light. 2 angels have come to save us, soaring through this night. 2 rays of golden sunlight, 2 arms of righteousness. 2 angels have come to save us now. 2 angels have come to save us now. Make this place so full of grace, and in your heart you'll know. Make this place so full of grace, and in your heart you'll know. Make your heart a lifelong love, and in your heart you will know. Make your heart a rose garden, and it will surely show. Make your heart a rose garden, and it will surely show. Make your days all day long prayers, and in your heart you'll know. Make your days all day long prayers, and in your heart you'll know. Make your life a lifelong love, and in your heart you will know. Make your heart a rose garden, and it will surely show. Make your heart a rose garden, and it will surely show. Sing your song the whole day long, and in your heart you'll know. Sing your song the whole day long, and in your heart you'll know. Raise a chorus for humankind, and in your heart you will know. Make your heart a rose garden, and it will surely show. Make your heart a rose garden, and it will surely show.
Good morning and welcome. I'm the Reverend Dr. Oscar Sinclair. My pronouns are he and him. It's a joy to serve this congregation as your senior minister. I am joined in the chancel this morning by our coordinator of youth and young adult ministries, Drew Danielson, by our worship associate, Isaac Freed, by our Hallman Ministerial intern, Amy Brunell, by all of the coming of age coordinators and mentors at 11:15, the coming of age. Youth will be here by everyone who makes the service happen week in and week out. It is good to be together this morning. If this is your first time here at Unity Church, welcome. We are so glad to have you. For the next 70 minutes or so, we'll share a time of song and silence, story and prayer. If you're visiting us in person, you can find a visitor card in the pew in front of you. If you would, fill that out and put it in the offering plate as it passes by you later in the service. That will let us know who you are, what brought you here, and how we might best follow up with you. If you're joining us online, please send us an email with that same information. We would love to know more about you. We would love to know what brings you to this place and this time with us. Whether you are here for the first time or have been coming for years, we are so glad to share this time with you. Whoever you are, whatever brings you to this place, wherever you're heading next, we hope that you will find Unity Church to be a loving community that inspires you to live a life of integrity, service, and joy. In this space and in this time, we say that all of who you are, your gifts and your wounds, are welcome. As we gather in community, we are strengthened by the multitude that gather, by everybody bringing all of who they are, whether coming of age today or coming for a long, long time. One quick announcement this morning. After this service, after 9 o'clock, finding yourself at Unity, which is our program for visitors, for new folks, for anybody that just wants to learn more, will be happening in the center room. The topic this morning is a Q&A with the minister, so I will be there. I hope to see many of you there and see what questions you bring. Next Sunday is our Music Sunday service. We're doing Considering Matthew Shepard, so it's a long single work. It will be good to be here. I will say, just as a note, come early, especially if you need parking nearby the church. That is often a very busy service, and that's often a service where we have lots going on, lots of people here, and some parking difficulty, we'll say. For now, take a moment, settle into this space with these people. Take a deep breath. Maybe focus on one of the balloons behind me as we enter into worship with the ringing of our bell.
Blessed is the spot and the house and the place and the city and the heart and the mountain and the refuge and the cave and the valley, the land and the sea and the island and the meadow, where mention of God hath been made, and his praise glorified.
O child of being, thou art my lamp and my light is in thee. Get thou from it my radiance, and seek no other than me. For I have created thee rich, and have bountifully shed my favor upon thee.
Nothing have I perceived, but that I perceive God before it, God within it, or God after it.
Blessed is the spot and the house and the place and the city and
that I perceive
and the cave and the valley, the land and the sea and the island and the meadow, within God hath been
For I have created the rich and the bountifully shed my favor upon thee.
Blessed is the
Nothing
spot
have I perceived,
and the city
but that I perceive God before it,
and the island
God within it, or
I have created thee rich and have bountifully shed
after it.
Who doesn't like balloons? You cannot see this and not smile, right? I mean, we love our elegant mid-century modern wooden raritas, I know, because it says so much about us. Smooth, sophisticated, powerful, flowing. But this is a bigger vision. This celebrates us so much more. Joy, whimsy, difference, and most of all, our children, the task of a village raising a family. The balloons of COA Sunday honor our 9th graders who gave their statements of belief yesterday. They were, and they are, spectacular and fun and unwieldy. And no matter how much we try, some will get away. Always. We cannot see them and not smile. Come, let us worship together.
If you would say with me the words of our chalice lighting. we light this chalice as a symbol of our faith, the light of truth, and the warmth of love. Our opening hymn is number 128, For All That Is Our Life.
I have a piece of hair that keeps doing this, so I'm really sorry. I'm trying to figure that out. So. Good morning. Each time we gather for worship, we set aside a moment to expand the caring ministry of this congregation. We gather here together trusting that this community is wide enough and deep enough to hold us in both our sorrow and our joy, in our challenges and our celebrations. Together, we recognize the cycle of life and death, the circle of love, compassion, and witness that is at the center of this and every sacred community. In our community today, we hold Karen Whitlock in care and pray for a swift and easy recovery. Karen broke her hip last week and is at Shalom recovering. We hold Maggie Collins in joy as she celebrates a January CT scan showing her cancer nodules shrunk and some have disappeared without treatment. A Christmas miracle her oncologist can't explain. Maggie canceled entering hospice and is enjoying life. Amen. We stand at the side of all of those whose primary spiritual practice is caring for children, or those who live with mental illness, or those with grief or chronic pain, or with addiction. We pray for our neighbors in prison, for those in harm's way, for all of us who are struggling to stay afloat and make ends meet. And we support those who rise way above heartbreak to carry on the work of ending oppression in all its forms. We celebrate with those who come through this joy with joy in their hearts. How can you not have joy today? Because this is a house of joy and laughter is the sound of a thriving community. and we grieve. We grieve for the layers of loss, anger, and fear that are present in all of our lives and in the world. I invite you now to openly share this community, with this community, whatever you are holding in your hearts this morning. For all that we hold within, among, and beyond ourselves, let us be together in a moment of silence. Pray with me. Thank you, child. Thank you for reminding us of your presence. Because this is a day to remind us that we are always in a transient state. We are always moving and changing, and it is the youth that remind us over and over again that change is life. I pray that we open to change, that we open in all the places where it feels stuck, or it feels like I'm right, or it feels like this is the way. I hope, I pray that we can soften those edges, that we can soften the edges to know that everything is one point to another. I pray that if you feel a little strain in your heart by the words I am saying, that you just breathe into that discomfort, and I pray that you allow yourself just to notice how the idea of transience and change is so hard. And I pray that you and all of us remember that this is what we ask children to do constantly. And we should be no less brave than they are. Ashe, blessed be. Amen.
Thank God it looks like spring is really here. Kind of. It was a long winter in Minnesota. The numbingly cold sub-zero temperatures dropped hard in January and February, just as the world witnessed the brutal occupation of our community by ICE commandos in black SUVs. We all were gutted by the detestable anti-immigration policy and senseless violence against our neighbors. We couldn't not feel this. We couldn't not be affected by it. And thinking back now, I'm very aware that while this was going on, our 9th graders, 14-year-olds, were dutifully showing up at coming of age every Sunday, being asked to think about their values and beliefs, about what it meant to be part of Unity Church and to be Unitarians. We were asking them for their vision of the futures, how dark, hopeless, and scary that could have been. I know one thing for sure, they were watching us. In coming of age, our discussions revolve around universal human questions of what it means to be human. What is the nature of higher power? What is sacred? How do we live with grief and loss? But this year, the question I know they struggle the most with is how will we strive for beloved community? And well, that was unfolding in real time. And so they watched. Would we honestly live into our professed UU values? I believe they saw reason for hope. They saw and were part of a community that resisted the injustice and violence. They saw and participated in dozens and dozens of actions of resistance and compassion and service, organized in coffee shops and community centers by and with their neighbors. They marched with schoolmates and strangers of all ages, and they saw that it can work. I might have a too optimistic view of what it is they saw, but it unquestionably affected them. And yesterday they delivered their credos during the coming of age ceremony, giving us a glimpse of their vision for themselves and for their futures. You will hear in their collage of voices from their statements that they name connection and community as central to every one of their questions. That, and that we also must not let fear of failure or of mistakes stop us from acting. At the start of the year, we asked them to come up with a name for themselves, something that would identify the character of this particular group. They deliberated without any of the teachers in the room, and when we came back in to get what name they had selected, it was unexpected, right? We are, they said, Christmas presents, but also Christmas presents. Christmas presents, Christmas presents. They thought that was very clever. I love Christmas, so I thought, well, yeah, that is great, but what does that mean? You will have to ask them how they came up with that. What I understand after hearing their credos yesterday, though, is this. Our youth are present. Let us never forget that they are here and they are watching us. And they are, without question, the greatest presents, the greatest gifts to us all, for what we can see through their eyes.
So anyway, it was Saturday night, and I was making this list of all the usual stuff. Finish history homework, clean my room, figure out if I believe in God or life after death, do my physics homework. You know, just trying to figure myself out in enough time to share it with all of you. Even though these topics are daunting, I realized I could tell them in my own way.
Relationships built through struggle and success are a special kind of bond that cannot happen overnight. I believe relationships are the #1 thing you have during your time on Earth. You can have good ones, bad ones, and even confusing ones, but they are all there, like an ever-present light or darkness. You have too many of them to stay committed to every single one individually, but you also can't get enough of them.
You know that feeling when your heart just swells with emotion? Like when the sun and breeze feel just right? When a thing like a gift or a hug overwhelms you with happiness? When you're writing your credo and speaking your truth to people who truly do want to hear what your voices and your thoughts are. That is one of the best things in the world to me. But my goodness, doing good for other people, now that feels amazing.
I would rather fall and make mistakes and maybe get hurt a few times than never move forward. Being afraid to fall or fail is normal, it's human. But being able to do things that scare you and pushing through is what really makes you who you are.
I think that my idea of a higher power more closely relates to nature. Just like Google or any other search engine, there are so many different answers you can get that solely depend on the wording of your question. It is just a coincidence that I typed the way I did, or when I chose to look something up.
For me, Sacred things aren't sacred because they are tied to God or religiously sacred, but they're sacred for me because they help to remind me of the people around me that have shaped me into the person who I am. Memories that will stay with me throughout my life that show how things can be hard and everyone struggles.
I love walking around camp by myself in the afternoon, after age groups have ended and everyone is regrouping for lunch. It is quiet, and the only sound is the birds and the wind in the trees, the gentle movement of Burnside Lake. I can think about things more deeply or just not think at all. I feel some kind of sacred presence in those moments, not a God exactly, but an incredible feeling of calm and safety, and I feel connected to everything around me. Being a part of that vastness of nature makes me think about how lucky I am to be alive.
My grandma's passing is the only death of someone close that I have experienced. While I wish I could have made more memories with her, either agate hunting at Lake Superior or gardening in her backyard, her story showed me how to live a good life and what I want mine to be like. I hope to live long enough to have a happy life and eventually face my final days with curiosity and courage like she did.
A person can believe in Christianity or Islam or science or math or whatever. It is the act of belief that transforms the thing into a higher power. I tend to reach towards the ancient Greek gods. Can you tell I read all of the Percy Jackson books at an impressionable age? But really, I feel closest to a higher power when I'm engaging in an activity of connection, like swimming. I believe in myself. I believe in my relay team. But in doing both of those things together, the belief extends even beyond that to something that can't be named.
Even though you might not always feel happy, you should always strive to be content. Happiness is an emotion. Emotions are always changing and adapting, therefore making it nearly impossible to remain in a consistent state of happiness. I believe that a major way to feel content is to spend more time in nature.
A lot of time, I find myself looking to the past for a sense of comfort, looking at what my life could have looked like if I chose a certain thing. Lately, though, I've started to view it as more of a bittersweet thing. You get to watch your life progress while looking back on the past season of you. Instead of looking back on the past in regret and anger, through reflection, I've begun to honor the beauty of the past. I embrace my soul's growing pains, and I find peace in the fact that I can't go back and retry.
During times of loss, I could still feel the higher power in my heart, in the love that had nowhere to go but to try and love again. Being human means carrying that love even after it is taken from you, and learning to keep moving while holding it tight.
I think it's beautiful hearing people speak in languages that I can't understand. It's funny, I was sitting with my mentor one day, and the people at the table next to us were speaking Spanish. I thought it was really cool how my mentor and I were having a whole conversation, and right next to us, there was a group of people who were also having a conversation, maybe equally or even more important, yet I had no way of knowing.
I choose to focus on the present because it is the only thing that is truly real. The past is a memory, and the future is an idea, and the end is certain. This means to me that death and loss doesn't feel like something to fear as much as something to accept. It's the one certain promise we all share. Knowing this doesn't make life feel like a straight line with a start and finish. It feels like I'm the one holding the pen, drawing whatever I want until I run out of ink.
I signed up for track through my school since I still wanted to stay active, and wow, it was so fun. I immediately had a feeling I made the right choice. I've never done it before, and I am not the best, but I have time to be part of this community who cares about you no matter what. This is when I began to accept that there is more to life than just achieving and chasing perfection. The environment can change everything, and being with this particular group of people made me realize how beloved community can impact me and make me feel.
I am a reflection of people in my life, but also make decisions for myself. Those decisions have been influenced by the people close to me, but when it comes down to it, I still have the ability to decide who I am and what I want to be. I think that's a right that nobody can take away.
Music is more powerful than hate or war because it connects people in a way nothing else can. It shows that people may look different or talk differently, but we are all people. We all have some sort of music in our lives. Music is in nature, in the birds and the streams, and it's in humans who sing and play instruments. It is almost magical in the way it can create sanctuaries of peace in the darkest of times. It is the ultimate bridge between all humans, which is what makes it so healing for grief.
Even though I was 1,000 miles away from home, and my beloved cat was sick and would die a few weeks later, I felt whole. Because wholeness is not a perfect, unharmed version of yourself. Wholeness doesn't need to be happy. Wholeness is just a realization of life, of beauty, of everything around us, and that is part of us.
I do believe there is a higher power, but instead of it being someone, I think it's more like the connection between every living person. The fact that we all come from a woman. You know the saying that you only need to know 7 people to know the world. When I hear something like that, it makes me feel very small in a good way. It reminds me of when I'm somewhere big, like a concert or a sports game, and I realize that we all have something in common. That's when I feel a presence of a higher power.
One of my largest takeaways from all my experiences is how valuable mistakes and failures are. Many of my micro epiphanies in the last year have come from reflecting on the challenges I faced and how I dealt with them. I truly believe that the only way we can grow and get better as humans is to learn from our mistakes.
If a higher power existed, I'm sure it would have a pretty hard time finding us. Then again, maybe it wouldn't have to have had to look for us at all. Maybe it just chose a spot and waited for us to find it. Maybe we already found it. Maybe it's still waiting. Regardless, playing hide and seek with deities isn't really a skill in my tool set, so I'll probably never know.
While we so diligently destroy ourselves, there is a spark there. The spark of the Creator imbued into the creature. So we must make, we build, we harness color and sound, scent and touch, bake, cook, draw, sing, dance, laugh, speak, write, imagine.
It's the moments that could be passed off as just pure coincidence, good timing, combined with the strong connection I feel with all sorts of life, plant and animal alike, that makes me think there's some sort of higher power. It feels like a presence, one that's not personified, not a god, just a greater force that connects all of us.
In the end, it has been so fun and enjoyable to put all the puzzle pieces together from my time on this planet, and I can only hope I will have more answers another 15 years from now. But a part of me knows that the more time that I spend asking these big questions, the more I'll end up with half answers, and even more questions. And part of that feels comforting to me.
Interdependence and generosity are core to our faith in the place. We know that we are bound up with each other and our partners in the world, and that generosity deepens our ties. Each week, the majority of our offering supports one of our partners in the community. This week, our offering supports Zion Community Commons. Zion Community Commons, on the corner of LaFond and Aldine in St. Paul since 1912, is a place of hospitality and grace to all in need. Its food program offers pay-what-you-can meals and provides weekly shelter and place bags of food, diapers, and more to 200-plus families caught up in the uncertainties of Operation Metro Surge. Zion's Arts on LaFond program seeks to nurture strong community ties through a vibrant program of music and arts, including weekly concerts that have become a spiritual oasis for the Hamlin Midway community. Will the ushers please come forward? We know that when we lead lives of integrity, service, and joy, generosity is sure to follow. Please give as generously as you are able.
The secret of life is enjoying passage of time. Any fool can do it. There ain't nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. Since we're on our way down, might as well enjoy the ride. The secret of love is in opening up your heart. It's okay to feel afraid, but don't let it stand in your way. Everyone knows that love is the only road. we're here for a while, might as well show some style. Give us a smile. Isn't it a lovely ride? Oh, sliding down and gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. About time is that time isn't really real. It's all your point of view. How does it seem to you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. Planets spinning through space, the smile upon your face. Welcome to the human race, some kind of lovely ride. Oh, sliding down and gliding down. Try not to try too hard, it's just a lovely ride. Isn't it a lovely ride? Oh, sliding down and gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
They're made out of meat.
Meat?
Meat. They're made out of meat.
Meat?
There's no doubt about it. We picked up several from different parts of the planet, took them aboard our recon vessels, and probed them all the way through. They are completely meat.
That's impossible. What about the radio signals, the messages to the stars?
They use the radio waves to talk, but the signals don't come from them. The signals come from machines.
So, who made the machines? That's who we want to contact.
They made the machines. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Meat made the machines.
That's ridiculous. How can meat make a machine? You're asking me to believe in sentient meat.
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. These creatures are the only sentient race in that sector, and they're made out of meat.
Maybe they're like the Orphalai, you know, a carbon-based intelligence that goes through a meat stage.
Nope. They're born meat and they die meat. We studied them for several of their lifespans, which didn't take long. Do you have any idea what's the lifespan of meat?
Spare me. Okay, maybe they're only part meat, you know, like the Wattalai. A meat head with an electron plasma brain inside of it?
Nope, we thought of that since they do have meat heads like the Weddalai. But I told you we probed them. They're meat all the way through.
No brain?
Oh, there's a brain, all right. It's just the brain is made out of meat. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
So what does the thinking?
You're not understanding, are you? You're refusing to deal with what I'm telling you. The brain does the thinking. The meat.
Thinking meat. You're asking me to believe in thinking meat.
Yes, thinking meat, conscious meat, loving meat, dreaming meat. The meat is the whole deal. Are you beginning to get the picture, or do I have to start all over?
Oh my God, you're serious then. They are made of meat.
Thank you. Finally, yes. They are indeed made out of meat, and they've been trying to get in touch with us for almost 100 of their years.
Oh my God, so what does this meat have in mind?
First, it wants to talk to us. Then I imagine it wants to explore the universe, contact other sentiences, swap ideas and information, the usual.
We're supposed to talk to meat.
That's the idea. That's the message they're sending out by radio. Hello, anyone out there? Anybody home? That sort of thing.
They actually do talk then. They use words, ideas, concepts.
Oh yes, except they do it with meat.
I thought you just told me that they used radio.
They do, but what do you think is on the radio? Meat sounds. You know how when you slap or flap meat, it makes a noise? They talk by flapping their meat at each other. They can even sing by squirting air through their meat.
Oh my God, singing meat, that is altogether too much. So what do you advise?
Officially or unofficially?
Both.
Officially, we are required to contact, welcome, and log in any and all sentient races or multi-beings in this quadrant of the universe without prejudice, fear, or favor. Unofficially, I advise that we erase the records and forget the whole thing.
I was hoping you would say that.
It seems harsh, but there is a limit. Do we really want to make contact with meat?
I agree 100%. What is there to say? Hello, meat. How's it going? But will this work? How many planets are we dealing with here?
Just one. They can travel to other planets in special meat containers, but they can't live on them. And being meats, they can only travel through sea space, which limits them to the speed of light and makes the possibility of their ever making contact pretty slim. Infinitesimal, in fact.
So, we just pretend that there's no one home in the universe.
That's it.
Cruel, but you said it yourself. Who wants to meet meat? And the ones who have been aboard our vessels, the ones you probed, you're sure they won't remember?
They'll be considered crackpots if they do. We went into their heads and smoothed out their meat so that we're just a dream to them.
A dream to meet. How strangely appropriate that we should be meat's dream.
And we marked the entire sector unoccupied.
Good. Agreed. Officially and unofficially. Case closed. Any others? Anyone interested in that side of the galaxy?
Yes, a rather shy but sweet hydrogen core cluster intelligence in a class 9 star in a G445 zone. Was in contact 2 galactic rotations ago, wants to be friendly again.
They always come around.
And why not? Imagine how unbearably, how unutterably cold the universe would be if one were all alone.
Last Sunday, while Amy led the service here in St. Paul, I had the honor of preaching an ordination sermon in Fairfax, Virginia. The now Reverend Kara Fortner is a recent graduate from Wesley Theological and has just started serving the good people of the Unitarian Universalist congregation in Sterling, Virginia. She asked me to come out to preach at the service, ordaining her to Unitarian Universalist ministry. Now, it is an honor to preach an ordination sermon. I come from Baltimore in ministry, where we take the art and history of ordination sermons maybe a little too seriously. Oh, that joke killed when there were a bunch of Unitarian ministers in a room. Quick UU history note, the beginning of Unitarianism in America starts with an ordination sermon in Baltimore. Okay. Anyway. So ever since then, the form of an ordination sermon has been a chance to say something about the moment that we're in, often with a whole bunch of colleagues in the room. I was feeling the tenderness and the weightiness of it last week. The person who preached my ordination had passed away just a few days earlier. It's also thematically very, very similar to coming of age. It's a chance to ask, what does it mean to be fully engaged with this faith in a moment of transition from one way of being to another? So I've had that on my mind all week. We had this ordination last Sunday. We have coming of age this Sunday. After this service, Unity member Caswell Burr, who was one of our coming of age students not long ago, is graduating from United Theological Seminary. And so when Drew and I go over there to be at that graduation, we'll be carrying this community in this moment with us as well. It is a day and a season of a whole lot of transitions. So my friend Kara and I met over an initial conversation about what it was like to be non-Christian students at the decidedly Christian Wesley Theological Seminary. So the service that she put together last week used two readings in dialogue with each other. Now, the first was Humanist, this short story about aliens horrified to discover humanity's meatness. And the other reading was from the seminary that we share, Matthew 5:13-16. It's a piece of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, where he says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under a bushel basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all the house. In the same way, let your light shine." So usually you write sermons for everybody in the room, but over the last couple weeks, I've been writing this sermon for Kara, for our coming of age students, for Kaz, for everybody thinking about what it means to live fully into this faith in this moment. Salt and light. When the aliens we heard from this morning discuss humanity, they are taken aback by our stuffness, our meatness, our corporeal reality. Strange for aliens to think of thinking meat, and yet the starting point for human life. Now you hear, whether coming of age, just born, or daydreaming of upcoming retirement, whether this is your first Unitarian Universalist service or your 3,000th, we start from here. You are meat. The brain that wrote this text, the one that jotted down Matthew 5, those hearing are basically a few pounds of salty Jell-O with an electrical current running through it. We are creatures of ash and dust, meat that somehow wonders about the beloved community. Because we aren't just meat, right? The salt is the first clue, I think. Salt, table salt, is not meat, not an animal, not a vegetable, but a mineral. It is the good earth right there on the table. It's also the ingredient that makes thinking possible, because without salt, neurotransmitters don't work. So if we are the salt of the earth, then we are the earth, sometimes very literally becoming conscious of itself. Salt is interconnection and consciousness, life aware, tied up with other life and the natural world all around us. All of us are the salt of the earth, the universe becoming aware of itself. My predecessor in this pulpit, Arthur Foote, wrote something of a reply to the aliens in 1972. He wrote, "It is good to be alive, which means to be embodied. For though I am not just my body, not just a few dollars worth of common chemicals, I am not I without my body, without my brain and nervous system and the whole apparatus that allows me to experience the magic of movement and muscular harmony. It is good to be alive," he wrote, "a living organism created out of the chemistry of the earth, a child of nature becoming articulate. To live is to let the welter of the world pour through our senses. So may the welter of the world pour through your senses and your life in it. May you never become so scattered, so diluted that your life loses its saltiness and its blessing to those around you. My first few years in ministry were the first Trump term. And around then, one of my colleagues, Susan Frederick Gray, was running for and then serving as Unitarian Universalist Association president. And she reminded us often back then that this was no time for a casual faith, that this was a moment to bring the full weight of our skill, our effort, and our moral authority as congregations. That was a decade ago, and what felt then maybe like a passing shadow has become ministry in perpetual crisis. No time for a casual faith. Be the light. I know what the last 4 months have been in the Twin Cities on the sharp end of emerging authoritarianism. I could say to our kids at the 11:15 sermon that they come of age in unprecedented times. I don't know what precedented times are anymore. So what is it then to be the light of the world now? I've talked about this a couple times this year, but it's worth repeating this morning. We serve in a time during the collapse of institutions. Whole departments in DC, USAID, Voice of America, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting are gone or going. Here in the Twin Cities, Hennepin County Medical Center is in danger of closure. But it's not just the end of institutions, it's also a collapse in the sense of confidence that this will all turn out. For some of us, for many of us, there is an apocalyptic nature to the last 10 years. Not apocalyptic in the sense of things ending, but apocalypse in its older Greek meaning. The sense of things being revealed, of a curtain going up, uncovering what was hidden or out of sight. The ice surge that Drew talked about in Minnesota this winter was difficult. But as difficult as the surge was that which it revealed. Mutual aid is fantastic. And in standing up mutual aid networks, volunteers had to grapple with the depth of need for housing and food that had been there well before Operation Metro Surge. And now that we've seen it, as people and institutions, even as federal occupation starts to draw down, we do not have the luxury of looking away. This winter revealed the bifurcated justice system that we live in. I managed to get arrested. KP managed to get arrested. We got a fine. The zip ties were for show. I slept in my own bed that night. I was not deported without representation or a hearing, even as 4,000 of our neighbors in Minnesota went missing. So all year in St. Paul, we've been reading books with titles like Hospicing Modernity, At Work in the Ruins, The Secret Despair of the Secular Left. That one's a lot of fun. How can we understand this call to be the light of the world when the world is so gloomy? We are a long way from being a shining city on a hill, whether we're talking about Jesus or Ronald Reagan. But in the Reagan years, the Scottish socialist and moral philosopher Alistair MacIntyre was trying to make sense of the collapse of moral authority and what he saw as the crisis of modernity. We've used these words a lot in the last year, but they still speak to me. He wrote of those times 50 years ago. It is always dangerous to draw too precise a parallel between one historical period and another. And among the most misleading of such parallels are those which have been drawn between our own age in Europe and North America and the epoch in which the Roman Empire declined into the Dark Ages. Nevertheless, certain parallels are there. A crucial turning point in that earlier history occurred when people of goodwill turned aside from the task of shoring up the Roman Empire and ceased to identify the continuation of civility and moral community with the maintenance of empire. What they set themselves to achieve instead, often not recognizing fully what they were doing, was the construction of new forms of reality within which the moral life could be sustained, so that both morality and civility might survive the coming ages. Or Dougal Tyne, just a few years ago, writing in the aftermath of COVID and George Floyd, talking about his friend who wrote Hospicing Modernity. The philosopher Federico Campagna speaks about living at the end of a world. In such a time, the work is no longer to concern ourselves with making sense according to the logic of the world that is ending, but to leave good ruins, clues and starting points for those who would come after, so that they may use them in building the world that is, as Vanessa would say, presently unimaginable. I have thought about that task a lot this year. As someone who has great unearned privilege in the system as it exists, and who has spent most of my adult life trying to make that system the best version of itself, what happens when we cease to identify the continuity of moral community with the maintenance of empire? But then there's a point of departure for us from gloomy reflections on the collapse of institutions, because in religious spaces we do not stop when we observe that a better world is presently unimaginable. We take a Sunday in the aftermath of Operation Metro Surge and we put balloons in the chancel. We tell stories, we laugh together, we imagine what could be. This is my friend Natalie Fenimore's charge to us. She used to say, you must love the Unitarian Universalism that does not yet exist. You must see and fall in love with the world as it is and the world as it could be. Because one important thing about light is that it is neither useful nor beautiful on its own. The use and beauty of light is in that which it illuminates. So do not hide your light under a bushel, Unity Church, because the world needs to see what you uncover. Put your light on a post, members of this congregation, because this is a moment that our faith is called to be a beacon, to imagine a better world and call people to a better way. Do not hide your light, dear friends coming of age this weekend, but illuminate the communities that you will be a part of, so that they, these good people, and the ones you will come to know, will be as a city on a hill, where the world as it is and the world as it could be come just a little bit closer together. And in all that, remember the aliens. We are creatures of meat and bone, not just abstract thought and beautiful image. When the coming of age students stood up here yesterday, when they'll stand up here at 11:15, it was as fully embodied people as meat, maybe. Arthur Foote's few pounds of common chemicals as a limited vessel in a wide and unknowable universe. And we ask them, we charge them to be a prophetic and healing voice, nurturing spirits for the transformation of the world. It is a big, big charge to give to meet. But the beauty of this tradition is that both are true. You are the salt of the earth and the light that shows the way forward. Jan Eller Isaacs used to tell new ministers, remember that you will never be enough for this moment. And remember that you will always be enough. We hold both. This is still not a time for a casual faith, so to everyone coming of age this year, we need your voice in the world. I am so proud to have you as part of this community. We've got some big tasks together, and it is good to be here with you. It is good to be together. Because the last lesson is this, in Matthew, the Greek you is plural. Jesus is not talking to his disciples in that verse. He's not talking to a subset of the ordained. This sermon started as an ordination sermon, but in our tradition, there is not one thing that someone can do after ordination but not before. So whether ordination or coming of age, the call is for you, for all of you, to remember that you are the salt of the earth. Ash and stardust joined in dreaming. And you, all of you, are the light of the world. Keep shining. And amen. Our closing hymn is Blue Boat Home, number 1068? 1064.
Below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my God and heart can say, I was sailing all my life, never harbored nor border. Wide rivers is the ocean I travel.
So as we close this service and extinguish our chalice, go forth knowing that you are the salt of the earth, that you are embodied beings, and that you are the light of the world. Keep bringing your light to all that you meet. Go in peace, and amen.
She went down last October in a pouring driving rain. The skipper, he'd been drinking and the maid felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock, she was dealt her mortal blow, and the Mary Ellen Carter settled below. There was just us 5 aboard her, she finally was awash. We worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. She gave as she went down, caused us to proclaim that Mary Ellen Carter would rise again, rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Oh, those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make Mary Ellen Carter rise again. The owners wrote her off, not a nickel would they spend. She gave 20 years of service, boys, met her sorry end. But insurance paid the loss to us, so let her rest below. And they laughed at us and said we had to go. But we spoke of her all winter, some days around the clock. She's worth $250,000 afloating at the dock. Every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain. Make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. No, those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. All spring now we've been with her on a barge lent by a friend. 3 dives a day in a hard hat suit, and twice I've had the bends. Thank God it's only 60 feet, the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. We've stopped her rents, patched her vents, dog hatch and porthole down, put cables to her fore and aft, girded her around. Tomorrow noon we hit the air, and then pick up the strain and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Know those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. We couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble into scale. She'd saved our lives so many times, living through the gale, and the laughing drunken rats who left her to a sorry grave, they won't be laughing in another day. And you to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, with smiling bastards lying to you everywhere you go, turn to put out all your strength of arm and heart and brain, like the Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. Know those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again. Rise again, though your heart it be broken, for life about to end. No matter what you've lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter rise.